Hello, today we're going to learn how to put together and start off on the saxophone. Now, just as we did for clarinet, our first step has to be to wet our reed. So during assembly, it is advised that you take out the reed and put it in your mouth to begin to wet it. Now, the next step is the assembly of the mouthpiece and ligature. This is the mouthpiece. This is the ligature. When putting on the ligature, make sure you take a close look and look at which end is wider and which end is not quite as wide, so you don't put it on backwards. Otherwise, the ligature will not fit on the mouthpiece and you will have a difficult time getting the reed in. Once we're ready to insert our reed, we can do it just as we did with the clarinet, with the label facing downwards toward the mouthpiece. Also similarly to clarinet, we want to be able to see just a slight sliver of black when looking at it from our perspective, and when we flip it around, just a slight sliver of reed. Now, we can finish assembly by placing the screws in the ligature back through. Once we have done this, we will begin to assemble the other parts of the saxophone. Be careful when tightening, as not to go too tight, as to cause vibration issues with the reed. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay. Now, we can take our mouthpiece and put our mouthpiece onto the neck of the saxophone. Similar to attaching a clarinet mouthpiece to the upper joint, we want to sort of do small wiggles to get it in, with the reed parallel to the ground on the bottom, like this. Next, we are ready to attach the body of the saxophone to our neck. Also similarly to clarinet, here we want to insert and then also use small wiggles in order to insert the neck into the body of the saxophone without damaging it. Once inserted, we want to take the neck and try to align the octave key and the ridge below the octave key with this part of the saxophone. Now, it is now time for the neck strap. In most cases, your saxophone will come with a neck strap. In our case, we are going to use a lanyard, as it is a substitute in cases where a neck strap might not be present. So, first, to attach a neck strap, you can simply clip it onto the appropriate hook on the back of the saxophone. When putting on a neck strap, you should try to check that the saxophone can come to you, but barely graze your chin, like this. Unfortunately, mine is not quite as tight as I would like, but it will make do. Now, for making a sound on the saxophone, the easiest way to think about the embouchure is to think about what elements from clarinet embouchure we want to keep and which things we want to change. First, we still want to have a firm bottom lip, a chapstick lip. We can think of it as a bed on which the reed will rest. Now, unlike the traditional clarinet embouchure, where the corners sort of go up and smile, you want to keep the mouth a bit more relaxed, not quite as pulled tight with the drawstring bag, which is the analogy we use for clarinet. Additionally, we want to think about the same concepts with reed placement as we did with clarinet. Sometimes it can be helpful to put more reed in the mouth, but always realize that more reed means a less controlled sound. So, when inserting the reed into the mouth, you want to place this at approximately, you want to make sure that the neck and the mouthpiece are approximately parallel to the ground. This might mean your saxophone has a slight tilt up, like this. Now that we have our embouchure, let's form our first note. Next beginner concept we want to cover is articulation. It's important not to overthink the syllable here. Something as simple as ta will do, but the important part is to think about where your tongue will touch on the reed. The tongue will touch the tip of the reed, where the reed meets the mouthpiece, in order to separate notes. So now we have Now that we've learned the basic concepts, let's quickly talk about disassembly. First, it's easiest to unhook our neck strap. Once we've removed the neck strap, we can begin to disassemble the sax. First, the neck will come off of the body. We can put the body safely back in our case. Next, we can remove the mouthpiece from the neck, unscrew the ligature, and remove the reed. As with all reeded instruments, and especially for those beginners who might be more careless, it's important that we place the reed back in the covering case as soon as we are done, to prevent deterioration of the reed and also to prevent an excess of germs. Once we put the reed away, the mouthpiece and the ligature can go back. And if you have an appropriate mouthpiece cover, as so, it can be helpful to place that mouthpiece in the cover. Thanks so much for watching.